Hey everyone, welcome to video number 2 on the basic properties of exponents. So you should have watched video 1 here, and now you should be ready to do a few more complicated examples. So what we're going to do is simplify the four expressions. So here we go. Let's start with x to the fourth to the third power over x squared. Now be really careful here because the parentheses, the 3 is only being applied to the numerator, not the denominator. So what we're going to go ahead and do is, remember, when a power is raised to another power, you just multiply. So 4 times 3 is 12, okay? And then that's all over x squared. Now what we're going to do here is, now you have a fraction, and you have the base being the same thing, the base being x. So when the bases are the same and you're dividing two numbers with the same base, you subtract exponents. So you have x to the 12 minus 2 power, right? So x to the 12 minus 2 power. Okay, that's just x to the 10th. Okay, and you could go ahead and write all that out, but I'm not going to draw, I'm not going to do 12 x's out like that and then 2. It doesn't make sense to. Okay, at some point you can just go quickly. All right, so example number 2, simplify the expression. Now we've got whole numbers here. We've got, look, a to the fourth, a to the eighth, b to the seventh, b to the fifth. So this should be pretty easy. 10 and 12 are both even numbers. 2 goes into 10 5 times. 2 goes into 12 6 times. Okay, so we're going to have this fraction, and it's going to start with 5 over 6. Now, when you're dividing two numbers with the same base, you add or subtract the exponents. So 4 minus 8 is negative 4. So I'm going to actually put that up here right now, a to the negative 4. Okay, and then b to the 7 over b to the 5th, that's just going to be b squared. Now, with that negative exponent, we're going to drop that down. So the numerator becomes 5b squared, okay, over 6a to the 4th, okay? And if you had some trouble on that, you're like, whoa, that's weird. Well, think about it. If you wrote a times a times a times a times a out over, there's the 4, and then I have 8 of those. So the first 4 just cancel out, right? There's the first 4 of the 8, right? So these are all gone. These all become 1, and there'd be 4 left in the denominator. That's the idea there. That's why the a to the 4th is in the denominator. There's just more a's going to be in the denominator. So that's our second example. Our third example here. Okay, now this there's a lot of ways you can do this one. Let's simplify the expression. We've got a whole lot going on in here. X, Y, Z, X, Y, no Z. So you can, and that's all being raised to a power. You could do the power first and simplify. I usually go inside first and try to simplify. Okay, now let's look. 2 and 5, they don't simplify. So let me put a big bar here. So the 2 stays, the 5 stays. Now let's look what we get. X to the 5th over x squared. Dividing two numbers with the same base, subtract exponents. 5 minus 2 is 3. So you have x cubed in the numerator. There's more x's in the numerator. Now look, y cubed, y to the 4th. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. I can make that positive. We just know that y is going to be in the denominator. I could put y to the negative 1 up here and then drop it, but I don't need to. Z to the negative 2. That should just drop down to the denominator to make it positive. So here's my z, negative 2. I drop it to the denominator. It becomes positive. And all of that now has to be squared. So that means the 2 gets squared. So you get 2 squared times x cubed being raised to the second power. Then you have 5 being raised to the second power. Then you have y being raised to the second power. And then z being raised to the second power. And I'll put parentheses around that. Now you got to clean that up. So you have 2 squared, which is 4. Power to a power, x cubed. Okay, you're going to multiply. That's x to the 6th over 5y squared. And 2 times 2 is 4, so you get z to the 4th. Okay, there's our simplified answer. And lastly, you're taking two products, you're multiplying here together. So what I would do here is actually square this out. Now, you're going to have negative 3. This is important. That base is being squared. M cubed is going to be squared, and n is going to be squared. Okay, and then we can just leave the multiply all that by 2m squared n to the fourth. We'll just leave that second term alone. Okay, negative 3 squared is 9. A power to a power, that's m to the sixth. N squared, all of that now is being multiplied by 2m squared n to the fourth. Okay, so 9 times 2 is 18. M to the sixth times m squared is m to the eighth, right? Multiplying two numbers with the same base, add exponents. N squared times n to the fourth is n to the sixth. Okay, so that's our second video on basic properties of exponents and how to simplify them. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and type them below. We'll see you next time.